Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you find yourself in this weird world. Today we find ourselves in another session of Dragon Age Rise of the Qunari. And today our scene takes us to the city of Redcliffe, where the caravan sent by the Inquisition has just recently arrived, and most of its members are doing their business with trading, cleaning, or just settling down. And we will go ahead and bring the scene first off to Miss Serena, who is making her way to the inner castle area.
Um, there is nobody expecting me there, is there?
Not that you seem to know of, no.
Okay. Um, I'm not 100% sure how to approach this because I don't want to be uh obvious about anything. So do I know who my target is? Like, would I be able to recognize them?
Yes, and go ahead and write this down when I get his name out here.
One sec. Let me find the fucking thing. Uh, where's the note thing? Notes. Okay. Yeah, what's his name?
Archduke Morgo, Morgo,
Mm-hmm.
Devol, Devul, with a little hash above the U.
D. D. Okay, okay,
Devul.
okay, okay, okay. So, yeah, I'm supposed to spy on the devil guy. Um, is there in this castle either like a servant secret passageway or an overhead how do you call these things that are on the ceiling, these wooden thingies, beams or beams? Yeah.
Yes, since you arrive in the district, you were given a map with some locations of possible entryways. Go ahead and roll me a stealth, and then roll me 1d20 plus your int modifier, or an intelligence check.
Okay, stealth is
And then let me know what you get on both.
okay, so okay. 38 for the stealth, and what's the next thing I need to roll?
Intelligence check, so 1d20 plus your intelligence modifier.
Okay, I'm not very intelligent. uh 28.
Wow, very good.
Apparently I'm not very stupid either.
Why did you add 10?
That's my intelligence.
That's your intelligence, not your intelligence modifier.
Oh, I don't understand, dude. You told me to roll my intelligence. That's my
I told you to roll.
intelligence.
I told you to roll your intelligence modifier, but I take it your intelligence is 10, right? So that
Yes.
means your modifier is 0. So just minus 10 from that, so that would be 18, which is
18.
still pretty
Okay.
decent.
Okay.
You pull out the map that you were given, and you see a couple areas that kind of would be some nice entry points. And as you unfold the map and you're kind of looking around, you notice that not only did Priscilla give you a map, but there appears to be a wrapped up piece of parchment with something in it, uh, or a little wrapped up bag, if you will.
Okay. I'll open it.
You open it, and it's a set of maid's clothes and a written excerpt, basically a right of employment ship
So I can pretend to be a maid.
Yes. And
Okay.
that will be a disguise check, which will give you a bonus on that, and certain stealth checks.
Okay, I'm going to put on the disguise.
You put on the disguise,
And
and
can I also change, like, put something like makeup on my face to make look like different?
yeah, you're able to find a decent amount of, if anything, you can just go to a shop. There's typically a makeup shop here or there. Since you're in the high district now, it's pretty easy to find and just kind of powder yourself up a bit.
Okay.
Roll me 1d20 plus 10, because that'll be your disguise check for this, unless you have an additional disguise check bonus.
Uh, uh,
It's in skills. Basically, you'll see it. It'll say disguise, and if there's nothing in disguise, then it's just 1d20 plus 10.
uh, disguise, I have +6.
Right, so you will get a 16 to this.
So +16. This is separate from the stealth check, right?
Yes.
Okay. 30.
Very nice. You disguise yourself very well. And I take it you proceed on. I take it you're not trying to be real sneaky. You're just going to kind of proceed up
No,
to the.
just be casual,
Hmm.
observing what the other servants are doing.
Alrighty, here. Let me see. Oh, yeah, these two are on shift. So you come up to the main uh, castle gate, and you wave through, and you don't really see much trouble until you get up to the main mansion uh, of the Lord. And at that front door, there are two guards, and you come up, and as before, you show them the papers. But before you can walk through, one of the guards sticks out his arm very stiffly and holds you at the shoulder and prevents you from entering. He says, "Hold up here."
Is there a problem?
Well, you see, he kind of looks you up and down. And he notices that the dress is quite nice for a maid of this high quality and someone of this high standing. And he kind of looks you up and down. He's like, I always feel a bit cheated, really, because we guard, we're responsible for the safety of a lot of important businessmen and autocrats, et cetera, et cetera. But we don't get paid that well. But you maids, on the other hand, I've seen you walk out of here with some really nice, not only pouches of gold, but sometimes maybe items that aren't necessarily yours. So I'm going to have to ask you to give us a little something before you enter.
So you're looking for a bribe, sir?
He kind of looks around. He's like, "A bribe? Nonsense!" And he's like holding out his hand expectantly. We guards aren't allowed to take bribes. However, how dare you, my good
Exactly,
lady?
you're not allowed to take bribes. Now, if you'd like, maybe I can take your post and you can go and empty some chamber pots inside. Would you prefer that, sir?
Hmm. Roll me a diplomacy.
Oh fuck, diplomacy, where is it? Diplomacy +5. So 1d20 +5.
That's correct.
15.
Kind of looks a bit annoyed. And he looks you up and down, looks you, kind of squints at your face. He's like, "I'll remember your face." And he moves his spear out of the way to let you through.
Wow, we're an ass.
I know, right?
Well, funny enough, I have these guys' sheets labeled as asshole 1 and asshole 2. So,
Then it's perfectly appropriate for an asshole. But now I've made enemies, kinda. So, will I remember them?
You can roll me 1d20 flat and let me see something here.
Okay. 12.
Might be kind of hard to remember this guy because he is wearing a face mask, like a face helm. You might recognize his voice if you talk with one of the other guards and it winds up being him, but other than that, it might be kind of difficult to remember his face.
I will do something else. While I pass, is there any other servants around there or any other people
Yeah. Let me
around
go ahead.
there?
Let me go ahead and describe what you see when you get in.
Okay.
As you walk into the mansion, it's very extravagant. A lot of red and gold tapestries, paintings, carpets. Hallways are very nicely designed. Candles and lights kind of burn at a very nice little brightness, even though it's still daylight outside. You walk around. It's very high class Victorian, the best way I can describe it. And you walk around, and yes, you start to see some maids here or there just going about their business. You walk by, like, not too far from the entryway. There's an entrance to the kitchen. You see a lot of maids coming out with boiling pots, since it's around lunchtime. You also see a lot of maids come and walk by with a lot of wet towels or wet pieces of cloth and kind of
Do I
coming
see
around.
any watchmen or people that appear to be like officers?
Roll me a perception.
Perception. Perception plus 13. Okay. 26.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. You notice a guard by the kitchen. You notice a guard kind of on the stairs. And you notice a couple guards way down the hallway two guards standing at a door. So if you had to guess, that's either a bedroom or a study or something important there. But other than that, you do
That's
not
not
see
what
any other
I.
guards.
No, what I'm looking for is someone who would be in charge of the guards.
You walk around, and it takes you a little bit, but eventually you find this guy over in one of the dining areas talking with one of the lords and ladies of the manor, and he appears to be much more finely dressed. His plate mail, like he's in full on plate mail rather than just chain mail, and he's got a lot higher quality looking armor. He just looks like he's a man who would carry himself with more of stature, and you can probably assume that he would be the leader of the guards around here.
Okay. What I want to do is wait for him to be in a place that he would be able to hear me complaining at another maid that the guys at the door were asking for bribes. So not directly report them, just make sure that the officer hears.
Okay. Roll me. That's actually pretty good. Roll me a bluff +5.
Bluff, 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 bluff. Plus 6. So what exactly do
So
I put there?
in total, that'd be +11, right?
Okay.
Since
Yeah.
it's 5 + 6, yeah.
27.
Very nice. You're rolling pretty good. You come up to one of the other maids, and I take it you're just going to try and argue with another maid.
Not argue exactly. Uh, do you often have trouble with the guards at the door? Like, can you believe it? He was asking for a bribe so I could come in and do my job. Do you believe that thing?
Oh, I typically don't have trouble with the two at the door. I don't know what you're talking about. Look, I really need to go and get this pot delivered. It's lunchtime.
I can't be the only one.
You know, you come by. There's another one that you complain to. Same complaint, and she's kind of like, well, yeah, they occasionally give me trouble at the door, and then she kind of goes on. And one maid comes by, and she's like, well, they only gave me trouble once, and then I gave them some coin, and they've never talked to me again. So, And then there's another maid that's like, I don't even know who you're talking about.
Well, I don't
and
know them, but they're at the door
and
right now.
and after a few more complaints, like she kind of moves on. She moves on. Eventually, about a couple hours later, The guard captain comes up to you, and he's like, milady, a moment, please.
How may I help you?
I couldn't help but overhear that you think my guards are asking for bribes.
Well, they did ask me for a bribe when I was trying to get in the castle.
I
Now,
see.
now that's not to say that all of your guards have issues, but the ones that I encountered specifically complained that they're not paid enough and we're paid more, and that maybe I should give them something so I can go in the castle in order to do my job.
I see. Well, this will be dealt with very, very quickly. Thank you for bringing this to my attention.
I do hope so, sir, and it really got me very worried that maybe they wouldn't let me in, and I need this job.
Yes.
My mother is sick.
Roll bluff.
Uh,
Just your standard bluff.
yeah. Let's hope this works. Oh no!
Oh, yes. Let's see. Okay. He's like, my lady, would you come with me really quickly? I have a concern
Oh.
that needs doing.
Anything I can
There's
help you with?
Yeah, there's just a bit of a mess that happened earlier today. One of my guards decided that he would, decide to eat in his room due to the fact he was not feeling well, and he wound up puking all over the floor.
Right.
And he goes over to one of the side areas and he pulls out like this cloth and like a water basin, and he hands you the water basin. He's like, I'll hold the towels.
Sir, this is my job. I don't need assistance. Just point me to where I need to clean and I'll go.
He leads you to the room where it is, and there is indeed what appears to be some sort of stain in like this kind of not a nice bedroom, but like just an average looking bedroom. And he's like, it's over there.
I'll go and clean the puke.
Okay. He seems to just kind of stand over you and then shuts the door. And he's leaning against the door with his back to it with his arms folded.
Not the cow level. I have a cow level.
I'll pay him no mind. I'll just keep on cleaning.
Okay. So he says, I do appreciate the honesty, but I don't appreciate the lies. I do have to respect that you tried to lie to me. I can see some ingenuity in that. But I'm a man who doesn't like to be lied to. So why don't you tell me why it was really concerning? Because you don't have a sick mother, do you?
No, I did not. But I do not need to tell you why I need this job. It's a job that I need to do, like
Okay.
everyone else.
Let's see here. Roll me a perception as you look at this guy.
Oh, you bitch.
Perception. Okay. 21.
Okay,
Not the cow level.
as you're looking at him, you can see that he's a little bit angry, and he's very tense. And you notice very subtly that he's doing something with the corner of his mouth, almost like he's like trying to whisper, but like he has to obviously he has to move his mouth. He's not a ventriloquist, but he's like having a little saying or seance or something with himself. Like he's talking to himself or something that's not there.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, he looks and he nods like he's just been told something, and then he walks towards you. And he is going to shove you. So this would be his combat maneuver bonus versus your combat maneuver defense. What is your CMD currently?
My. Uh,
It's over on the left side near your offensive stuff.
well, it says 28, 10 plus 7 plus 1 plus 5. I don't understand which one it is.
It's the largest number.
28.
28. Okay, that's pretty decent CMD. So he is going to try and roll versus your CMD. He's basically just going to shove you.
But I'm already on the ground and cleaning up puke.
Exactly. He's going to shove you, like try and shove you down. Shove you against the wall. He's basically just going to push you. Either way, whether he does it with his foot, whether he pushes you, it's a push.
Look at all the
Okay.
So you kind of see him coming, and you're able to avoid him pushing you with his foot.
Yeah, but I kind of want him to believe that I'm a helpless little maid.
Okay, so if that's the case, then you can offer to go ahead and flop that and just kind of fall so you take no damage or no damage from his kick, I'll say. So he comes up and he like pushes you with his foot and he makes you fall basically into the mess that you are cleaning up that is now even more wet because you've just been cleaning it.
What are
And
you doing?
he draws his sword and he points it at you. And he's like, "What is your name? And what is your family? How long have you been in service here?" He starts asking you the normal questions.
By the way, what's the name that's written on the paper that I have? I assume it's a different name, right?
Margaret Tiffany. Margaret Tivon. I can't even pronounce this one. Tivion. Margaret Tivion.
I'm Margaret Tivion. Well, I don't know what else the paper says, so I don't know what to tell him about how long I've been
It
working.
doesn't. The paper doesn't really say much other than it's just your standard like, "Hey, I'm this person. I should be working here." But he kind of looks at the paper and looks it up and down. He kind of looks it over very carefully, and then he crumples it up and just kind of throws it back at you. He says, "How long have you been in service here?"
I just started.
Right. Tivione family has been in debt to Lord of Vispander for quite some time. There's no way that they would send a maid just this recently, especially after the conflict that happened not too long ago. They didn't have any maids to spare. Don't tell me Lord Tivione has been sleeping around again.
When did he ever stop?
Roll me a bluff. This will be a 50-50 split. That was taking a gamble. Let's see what happens.
What was my bluff again? Bluff.
5.
6. It's not 5.
6.
20.
He looks at you for a long moment with the sword edge pointing at you. And he's like, "Yeah, Lord Tivione really can't keep it in his pants, can he?" He sheathes the sword slowly and still kind of looks at you. And he's like, "I'll have my eye on you."
Oh, so I'm the problem here. Now I understand. If that's how officers treat people, no wonder the guards at the door are the way they are, sir. With all due respect.
He seems to be paying you no mind. He's just looking straight forward. He shakes his head.
Now, if
He
you'll
looks down.
excuse me, I have even more work to do here.
He looks down at you and he says, "Is there a problem, ma'am? Are you all right?"
Making a note.
Whatever happened? Are you okay?
Are you
Did you fall? Can I help you up?
joking? Help me up. You're the one who kicked me.
Nonsense! I would never do such a thing.
So I just imagined it then.
He kind of blinks and he looks at you. He looks around, looks at the puddle you're in, looks kind of around the room, and he's like, "No, I would no, I would never do that."
Also, did I drop myself inside the dirty water here?
He seems to stutter for a moment and he can't seem to make anything up. And he says, "Well, just be more careful where you walk." And he opens the door and leaves.
Great, a fucking possessed officer. I mutter that to myself, by the way, after he leaves.
Okay.
Do I know this guy's name?
Captain Thomas. That's all you know.
Captain. Captain Thomas, you said?
Yes.
Possible abomination. Mental note. Well, I'm gonna clean this shit up, and then I'm gonna try and clean up my clothes as best as I can.
Yeah, it's going to take you
Ass
another
hat.
half hour to finish up, and then you got to go clean up your clothes now, and that takes more of the day. And at this point, it's getting around to be 3 or 4 o'clock.
In the morning or in the afternoon?
The afternoon. Getting somewhat close to dinner time. Because of this, you're immediately called in to the kitchen to start helping.
Okay, I'll go to the kitchen and start helping.
You notice it's a nice, extravagant kitchen. A lot of chefs, a lot of maids running around doing things. Smells like a mixture of meats and pies and even boiled fruits kind of here and there. And it smells very, very nice. Nothing really of too much note happens as you're preparing stuff. Eventually, it's around 5 or 6 o'clock, and dinner time happens, and you're called to bring out the food to the table.
Am I going to be present while people are being served?
Yes. And you can go ahead and roll me a perception, and I'll tell you about some of the conversations you hear. Actually, roll me a perception, then roll me a stealth.
32 for perception.
Very nice.
42 at stealth.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So no one at all is going to notice you listening in, but as you're bringing pots in and cleaning bits, and as dinner service progresses, you see your target, and you see him chatting around with people, and most of the conversation is about upcoming war, Canary ship site in the harbor, people talking about the new Herald, new voice, how things are changing in the Chantry, things are changing for the mages, new continent discovered, etc., etc. And then Captain Thomas comes over and starts talking with him. And they start talking about tactics and whatnot, and how Red Cliff is going to start supplying certain houses are going to start supplying soldiers or hiring mercs to do the obvious. And then during that conversation, Captain Thomas says something that's a bit interesting. And he says, "My lord, I need to speak with you privately in the chambers we discussed. It seems that Jonathan would like to speak with us."
Okay.
And then he says, "Ah, does that old fool not realize that I'm busy? Fine." And he stands up and they both head out to the next set of left hall outside the dining room.
Is there a way for me to follow them without raising
With
suspicion?
a stealth check like that, yeah, you can follow them.
Then that's what I will do.
So you follow them down to the edge of the hall, but rather than going into the room that you now know is the Baron's private study, they go down, almost like they're heading down to the wine cellar. They head down, down, down. You follow them slowly. It becomes a lot more darker down here. Eventually, one of the two people you're following, you kind of lose sight of them, but then one of them lights a torch, and they go down this long stone chamber hallway, and you're able to kind of stay just barely out of the light and follow them. They go a bit deeper, and they go past a wine cellar, and there's a very nice, fast wine. The Duke goes up to this barrel, and he turns the knob on the bottom of the barrel, and rather than mead or beer or wine or whatever coming out, the outer door, the outer round surface of the barrel opens inward to a secret passage.
Mm-hmm.
And they proceed on inward, and now there's no more paving. It's just a rock wall. And they eventually get to a kind of a dead end. It's odd. It's just kind of a cave structure, and it's dead end. The only light you can see is coming from up ahead of you, and a little bit of light coming from behind you in one of the wine cellar rooms where he lit a torch.
Mm-hmm.
And they just stop at the wall, and you see a symbol scrawled on the wall. You can roll me a knowledge religion or a knowledge arcana if you want to try and figure it out.
Where do I see if I have any of that?
Skills. It's under skills. If you don't have any, then it would just be 1d20 flat.
Um, okay, wait. I don't think I have anything like that.
Then you can just try rolling a d20.
Ah, shit. 3.
You have never seen this symbol in your life.
Will I be able to recognize it or or copy it somewhere?
Yeah, you can definitely make a little sketch down, or at least draw the symbol down. It's a circle with 3 curved lines going out on like certain angles, like one down on the right, one up straight at the top, and then one kind of down on the left, with a vertical line going straight down, almost like an L. And that's what the symbol looks like.
Okay.
And the Duke goes up to it and he puts his hand on it and it starts to glow. And you see a weird kind of distortion happen within the middle of the circle. And you can't really tell what's going on, but it just seems to distort the rock. And then the Baron starts talking in a language that you do not know.
Okay. So probably there's some sort of illusion going on there,
Mm-hmm.
if I had to take a guess.
Yeah, another thing that you've noticed is that the language he's speaking, it doesn't even seem to be a language. Everything's random. Like, he talks like for a second and you hear like a couple syllables of a word and then it switches to another word entirely that's understandable, but it makes no sense. It's all gibberish. Similar, like if he started the conversation, "Hello, Don Ji Fit, my master Shushu," and then it would like go into something else, and then it says, "The ravaging horse burns at the sun," and then it just keeps switching. The words are switching around all over the place.
Mm.
Like literally the only syllables that you even, or the only words that you even catch that you recognize are "my master help," and that's it. and those were all split. Those 3 words you caught were split up amongst like 10 minutes of talking.
My
After
master help. That was
my master help, and it wasn't in a row. It wasn't like thing. It was completely scrambled. It's just that those were the only words that you were able to understand.
Mm-hmm.
After a while, the Duke stops talking, and both him and the captain immediately, with surprising speed, turn their heads and look back to where you're hiding.
Can they see
That's
me?
not creepy at all.
You're not entirely sure.
Mm,
Who goes there? Captain. Captain draws his sword and starts walking down the hallway.
um, can I get it? This is not in the cellar. This is after the cellar, right?
Yeah, this is in like the little cave secret passageway.
Is there any place that I could use to hide?
If you want to try and dash back into the cellar and kind of like find a barrel or something to hide behind, you could try that.
That could be noisy.
Yeah, but you don't really have any other options. The rest of this cave pattern is literally like 90 like it's literally a straight shot. There's almost no rock formation or little thing you can hide behind.
Okay, so I'll try as quietly as possible to go back to the cellar and get inside a barrel.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me another stealth just because it's kind of a different scene.
27.
Okay, not bad. Let me check something here. Hmm. Okay. No one seems to have seen you. You seem to slip into the wine cellar and you find a nice little corner to hide in. You see the captain kind of thrusts a torch through the opening, kind of holds the light around, and he searches through the cellar. A couple close calls, but he doesn't seem to be any. He does not seem to be aware of you at all.
Okay, that was weird.
Captain looks back toward the open passageway, nods. You don't hear any voices, but you see him nod, and then he walks back up the stairwell, and the Baron has yet to come out. After a few moments, the Baron comes back out with his own torch and closes the secret passageway. And he walks toward the stairwell, and then he stops.
Okay.
Scratches his chin. Goes over to the middle of the room, kind of puts out his hand like he's going to touch something, even though there's nothing there. And he mumbles a few phrases. And then he kind of looks around, satisfied, and then he walks back up the stairwell.
uh, can I assume that what he was mumbling was some kind of spell?
You probably assume that.
Do I see any visible words or something that would suggest there is a word placed there?
Do you have arcane sight?
I
No, you do not.
no, but I
So,
have perception with trap finding.
I mean, you don't find. I'll say this right now. You don't find any traps. You don't find any physical traps. You don't know if there was any sort of rune or enchantment or anything put up.
Are there any rats around?
None that you can see.
Fuck. Any other little animals?
No, it's actually pretty quiet in here. You seem to be the only one down in here.
Mm. And there's no other way out.
Not that you know of.
Well, I don't want to try going to the stairwell just yet. What I want to do first is investigate the cave if I can open the passage.
Oh yeah, it's you. You watched him do it. You can easily go open the passage.
Then I'm
Oh,
gonna go ahead and do that.
You open the secret door and you go back down the passage. And now that you know where everything is, it's kind of easy to see. And you light a little torch and whatnot just so you can see your way. But yeah, it's literally straight from the cellar to the wall, and the wall with the symbol on it, and that's it. There seems to be no other passageway going any direction.
I don't want to touch the symbol.
Mhm.
But
Okay, hold on a moment.
I said I don't want to touch it, not that I want to touch it.
I know, I said hold on a moment.
Oh fuck.
Okay, so I know your AC is higher than 15.
What's my
What?
AC?
Actually, what I think your AC is
Yeah,
15. Hold on.
it's 18.
Okay, so a hand comes out of the circle and tries to grab you and just barely misses you in front of your face. This black tendril looking of a hand.
Okay.
Roll me a will save, please. That is your 1d20 plus the highest number on your will. Or total of your will.
The plus 8.
Yes, plus 8.
So okay. 1d20 plus 8.
That's correct.
22.
Okay, that's actually pretty good, so you only take half. All right, take 4 psychic damage as something tries to grasp out towards your mind, but you manage to resist, but it still damages you slightly.
Uh
4
so
psychic damage is a lot.
how much is my HP? The 102 thing.
That's your health. So you lost 4. You took 4 damage.
Okay, so I'm at 98. Thanks,
Yep.
Brandon.
And there seems to be something coming out of the circle now.
Fuck. I'm going to step back a little bit, but keep observing. I'm gonna keep moving backwards, but keep observing what the fuck that is.
Okay. Basically, since you've played Dragon Age, a pride demon comes out of the circle. It's like all slimy and like. It's supposed to be a pride demon, but it looks a lot more like a wrath demon. But no, that's a pride demon.
Great. I'm going to kite it towards the stairs and see if I can lure it to there because there might be a
So
room there.
what you're going to do is you're going to do a Toro. Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and have you sprint back since it's got a lot lower land speed than you. You're able to run back, and you're able to get in front of the stairs, and you're going to stand your ground until it comes after you. So it is going to shoot at its hand like a tentacle, and try to attack you again at the base of the stairs.
And I want to get out of the way.
Well, let's see if it hits you. Yeah, it hits you. So you don't get out of the way in time
Why? I have evasion.
because it's an attack. Evasion helps you with other things. It doesn't help you with straight up attacks.
Jesus.
All right, so
I mean, don't they have any dodge edge or something?
well, that's your AC. That's your defense basically,
Oh,
unless
fuck.
it goes to grapple. But he didn't actually beat your grapple, so he tries to grab you but fails. Because he can attack and grapple at the same time. But he reaches out his hand like he's going to try and grapple you, but he can't. You're a little bit too quick for him, so he just slams his palm into you, and you slam back into a invisible wall. So the stairs are indeed warded. Take 5 damage.
Great.
Take 5 damage. Another 5 damage.
Ah! I'm down at 93.
No,
Shit.
you've lost. So in total, you've lost 7 health, which is not that much. You're not taking negatives to any attributes or anything. This is just flat health that's going down. You're not taking any minuses to anything else.
Alright, you motherfucker. Can I roll behind some barrels and go into stealth mode?
Yes, you may.
What do I roll for that?
Roll stealth. Since you have actually, I'm sorry. If you're going to do a tumble, go ahead and roll an acrobatics check and then roll a stealth check. What I usually do for Pathfinder games is I'll allow a person to do a tumble check, or as in this case, an athletics check. And then if you successfully make your stealth check as well, then you can stealth while in combat, even if your enemy's fighting you.
Okay, 32 for the roll
So you are easily able to tumble.
and 42 for the stealth.
Okay, he will roll perception to try and see you. He does not see you. He kind of reaches forward and slams you against the thing, and as you tumble out of the way into the darkness, he kind of looks around like, where'd you go? And he is in the light of the hallway, so you can see him, the light coming down from the stairwell. But the room, other than that, is mostly dark. What do you wish to do?
There are two options here. One, I either try to stealth kill it or I try to book it. And
Well,
if
to be
there's
fair,
a
you did see that there was a barrier at the stairwell.
yes, and since I can't book it, I have to stealth kill it. So I'll try to get behind it and
Okay. Roll me
stab it.
roll me 1d20 plus your attack modifier. And go ahead and give me an extra +2 because you're stealth. And it doesn't know you're there.
What's the attack modifier?
It's your main hand down at the bottom there with your dagger.
The 13.
Yes. So in total, you're going to be rolling 15.
$25.
25 hits. Don't even bother rolling damage because as you jump out and you stab at it, you stab into it and it goes and then disappears.
Okay. And the word is still there, right?
Mhm.
I don't know how the fuck to break this thing. I can disable it somehow. This is
Go
all
ahead
the
and roll me.
magic thing.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check just as you investigate it.
20. Remy!
After looking at it and feeling it over, you think you might actually be able to break this barrier with physical force.
Okay. I'm gonna pummel it.
Okay, just roll an attack. Actually, I'm sorry. Don't even bother rolling attack since it's basic inanimate object. Roll damage.
How do I roll damage?
It's your daggers down below. It says near your main hand.
D4 plus 2.
That's correct.
So 1d4 plus 2. 6.
So you slam it in and it cracks. Try again. Number 6, you
Again.
slam it in, it cracks, and then you slam in the second time. You can hear a shatter kind of enter, although you see no glass or anything else fall to the ground.
I'm gonna roll stealth again. 33.
Go ahead. Yeah, you're easily able to stealth up the stairs, and you go out the door that you came in, and no one seems to be waiting for you or spying on you.
And I will resume my duties, I suppose.
Okay. You go back to your duties as a chambermaid, and for the rest of the night, you don't see the Baron or Captain anywhere in the castle. As a matter of fact, it's not until the next morning. You stay in the chambermaids, and the next morning, you specifically are summoned to the Baron's quarters.
And I'll go, because I don't have any other options.
Well, you do, but
Well,
you're summoned in. It seems to just be the Baron's
no, I'm
office.
just a maid. I'm just
his
maiding
his
around.
his private studies. And you see the Baron sitting at a desk. And he looks up at you and he says, come in, sit.
Am I not here to clean, sir?
No, there was something I wanted to discuss with you, actually.
With me?
Yes, I actually wanted to apologize to you personally. I understood yesterday that there were some guards at the door that did not acquisite themselves properly as my men under my station should. I mean, after all, they are expensive. So I had them dealt with properly, and I put forth my humblest apologies and condolences to you, young lady. No one should be treated like that, and they will be severely disciplined for what they have done.
Oh, thank you, my lord. I didn't mean to cause any trouble.
Oh, of course not. He looks up at you and smiles, and he comes over to you, and he reaches into one of his pouches, and he sets down in your hand a couple gold pieces, and how best do I describe this? He's being too friendly with you at this point. He's getting into your personal space. He is, as he closes your hand over the gold pieces, he does that classic, he runs his hand over yours, and he clearly takes a couple looks at your cleavage a couple times.
Yeah, I'll just play the virgin and just look on the floor and pretend that I'm blushing and
Mm-hmm.
move backwards a little bit.
And he says, "Very well, my dear. Go ahead and get back to your work."
Thank you, sir. I shall. And I'll open the door.
He's like, "We'll definitely have to have you for dinner service tomorrow night. A maid such as yourself should definitely enjoy the higher qualities of more refreshed palates." And he sits there and he smiles at you very, very intently.
I will awkwardly get out of the room and close the door. And as soon as I close the door, I'll roll my eyes and keep going. What else is new?
You see, as you walk by, you see the captain walk by you and go into the study.
Well, I'll see if anything needs cleaning around where he is so I can
Yep.
keep an eye on him.
And we'll go ahead and change scenes to the very patiently waiting dwarf.
Yay! I think he fell asleep. Bullet?
No, I've been listening, Edget.
Okay, so we pan back down to the dwarf, to the previous morning, who is currently struggling about, and you have found a tavern. You found a good keg of ale. and you're now strolling around the street looking around.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that there's been a lot of merchants coming in recently. Actually, business is kind of booming, so to speak, in Redcliffe now. Redcliffe has actually expanded from what it once was, and it's gotten a lot bigger. It's become actually a major kind of almost trade port now, or trade city. And as you're strolling around, go ahead and roll me just 1d20 flat for a sec here.
I got a 9.
Okay, so in your stupor, you kind of take a turn down a wrong alleyway. And as you realize it's a dead end, you turn around and you see 3 rather scurvy-looking gentlemen, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, "Well, what do we have here? You seem to be lost, my good sir."
I just stare at him and I start drinking my ale, and then I just keep staring.
I stare back at you, and he's like, he kind of looks at his buddy, and he's like, "You know what, boys, I'm bored. Fuck it, let's get him." And then they draw weapons and attack you. So they stroll
Whoa!
forward you.
Whoa! I slowly back away. Uh, Is that really how you treat a gentleman? That is, oof. You guys need some work. Couldn't you at least try to steal it without resorting to violence? Who taught you
Diplomacy.
how to steal? You are so terrible at this.
They kind of stop, look at you. Go ahead and roll diplomacy.
19?
Not bad. They kind of stop and they look at you, kind of like, okay, as long as you don't give us any trouble. And then he has the one guy pull out a small hand crossbow and he points it at you. And then the one guy strolls forward to take your money.
Before he goes, I put a hand up and I go, might I give you a better plunder than stealing money like this? I could teach you miserable bastards how to steal the best kinds of loot, the best ways.
And what would a newcomer to the land of Ferel, to this particular area of Ferelden, know about stealing around in these parts? You just arrived in the city. What on earth do
Oh,
you know?
oh, what would a very handsome dwarf like me know indeed? What beautiful ports you have, but it is nothing like Antiva's ports. This is very small game to what I am used to, so I'm pretty sure I know more than you lazy bastards.
Oh, you're from Antiva, huh?
Oh, you couldn't tell by my beautiful voice.
Uh, he kind of looks at you with one of those kind of faces. These guys are all humans, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Typical Ferelden looking. They don't seem to be foreign or tribal or anything like that.
Yeah. So, would you accept my offer of showing you miserable bastards how to do it Antivan style?
You see his left eye twitch, and he goes to punch you.
Okay. Oh shit.
20.
My AC is 17.
So you'll take 4 damage as he punches you in the face.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you see, this is why you'll never get the best kind of plunder. You always resort to violence very fast. Ah, my face.
Are you going to do anything else? Because he's going to try to forcibly grab you and then take your money.
Okay, I'm gonna try and the guy is still pointing his crossbow at me, right?
Yes.
And the guy, there's a
Although,
guy in front of me,
yeah, the
right?
guy in front of you, he's kind of positioned himself poorly now.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Can I try to bait the guy with a crossbow to hit his friend in front of me?
Roll me a bluff. Because you're in a talk. Yeah, so roll me a bluff. Technically, you could roll a diplomacy if you do it in a diplomatic way.
I got 26.
26. Okay.
Mhm.
Yep, that's going to antagonize him to shoot. So if you want to use the guy's cover, I'm going to go ahead and roll his attack, and then I'm going to roll a d100 to see if you get the cover.
Mm-hmm.
So he misses you anyway. He doesn't hit the guy in front of him, but he aims his. You kind of like you flip him off and like haha, and you kind of duck around and he shoots, but he shoots to where you were, and it just pings harmlessly off the stone cobble.
Oh,
So now what are you going to do? Because now it's basically combat at this point.
yeah. I'm gonna antagonize him and go, your friend can't even shoot properly. What are they teaching you in this dog country?
Okay. I mean, he still attack you.
Yeah, yep. I'm gonna. Can I pull out my dagger? I mean, not
Yes.
dagger. I mean, my rapier.
Rapier? Yes.
Yeah.
You can let you pull out your rapier. Quick draw.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I do something else, like attack or something?
Yeah, it's your turn. I'll say it's your turn right now.
I'll attack the guy in front of me, I guess.
Okay.
Let's see what my. It's oh shit. Okay. Let's see if it crits.
Yeah. Roll to confirm.
Is this it? I'm pretty sure that's a crit.
Yes, that is
Oof.
definitely a crit.
Oof. Okay. So. Plus. What's my. 6. Okay. Oops. I forgot the slash
Try the
R.
roll sign.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, so as he comes forward, you're just like, and he's like, as you stab him right in the throat, and he goes down.
Yeah. I look at everyone. Was he your filthy leader?
They're right.
And
These guys didn't look very professional.
Mhm. So they're running away now?
Yes.
I scream at them, hey, stop running away! I can teach you some things! And I just let them run away, I guess, if they keep running away.
Yep.
Yep.
And the guy in the alleyway is currently now laying in a pool of his own blood.
I guess I tried to loot the dead guy for his money and continue exploring the city.
I want to see what happens here. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Stop right there, criminal scum. I'm just
I
kidding.
look.
I'm just
Oh
kidding.
shit!
No, you loot him. It looks like he had a knife on him and a bag of 10 gold.
I'll pick up the bag of 10 gold and I guess I steal his knife, 'cause why not? And then I just continue my leisure.
Okay. As you duck out of the alleyway and you manage to kind of stroll along, you just barely manage to get out of there quickly before a couple guards come by and search that alleyway.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to move.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do the pretend I belong and just keep exploring and
Yep.
keep drinking.
Go ahead and roll me a stealth with a +5.
Okay. So... Oh no! Oh
dear.
no!
So when you were searching around him, you stepped into the blood,
Mhm.
and so your footprints kind of left a little bit of a trail. And
Mhm.
as you're strolling away from the alleyway, you feel the strong hand grab your shoulder, and it says, "Hold it, sir."
Look, I do not want whatever it is you're selling. I do not swing that way. Could you please let go?
Do you turn around and look, or do you keep facing forward?
I said that line, and then after that, I just look backwards now.
Yeah, there's two guards. The two guards that went down the alleyway are standing behind you.
Like
And
I
it
said
says,
before, I do not want what Whatever you are selling.
Someone here is going to play nice with the Crown's Guard.
What?
You're under arrest.
For what?
Murder.
But I didn't kill anyone.
They both look at you and they look back at the alleyway and then look back at you very quickly.
What?
And then they just kind of look at you like, really?
Yes, I was here drinking myself to a stupor while exploring.
One guy grabs one arm, the other guy grabs the other arm, and they pick you up and they start hauling you off.
Hey, this is very unprofessional of you. Just because I'm a dwarf doesn't mean I have to be manhandled.
They manhandle you over to the guard place.
This is very embarrassing.
They toss you into a cell.
Oh, great. Look, I did not kill anyone. I hold the bars and keep pleading about how I didn't kill anyone.
Okay. So eventually you'll plead for about a good 6 hours. Actually, I'm sorry, 8 hours. And then eventually one of the other guards comes, whispers something to the other guy. The guard sighs, steps up, opens your cell, says, "Get out of here, dwarf."
Why? Okay, look, I know I'm looking a gift horse in the mouth, but
I said,
why?
"Get out of here, dwarf."
Yes, fine. Can I have my shit back?
He tosses you your shit.
Yes, I back out of the
Just before you're backing out, you hear one of them say, "It's like sure, it wasn't that guy like a wanted. It's like whatever his wanted paid for the man's use in the cell, so we're letting him go free of charge." It's like, well, sir, he did do the city a service. I'm like, shut up. And the two men just kind of go back to talking. The guard at the doorway opens the doorway for you. He says, "Well, apparently the guy you killed was a wanted man and a criminal anyway, so
again,
yeah, sorry."
I did not kill anyone.
Sure,
I
you
was
did.
merely drinking, exploring this beautiful port city, and
One of the guard at the door kind of looks at you, and he kind of snaps his fingers and says, "Hey, look at me." Points down to your boot, and he says, "Do this," and he has you hold up your boot.
Okay.
And on the bottom of your boot, it's stained red.
Oh.
And he's like, "You might want to clean that up, sir." And then he says,
yes.
Please enjoy your time in Redcliffe. Sorry for the inconvenience."
Yes, yeah. Still though, I'm pretty sure this is a jam and not blood. But let's just pretend none of this happened, yes? And he just starts
Before you walk, he says, "Didn't work when you were 6 years old. It ain't going to work now, sir."
He just starts leaving and tries to go to the fucking port again and dip his foot in the water.
So you go and you kind of dip your feet in some puddles and you manage to get it kind of clean. And you go about more of your business and you look at the city and roll me a perception check just to see if you notice anything.
$23.
Oh yeah, you see, as you start to mingle and look around at a lot of the shops, you'll buy like a little. You'll get like a little sample of a meat pie, and you're really really tempted to buy one if you want to. And if you buy it, it's very enjoyable, very good meat pie.
Yeah.
Fresh pork, salted with pepper and some other spices put in it. And as you're enjoying your pie and just looking around, you eventually start to notice something a little bit about the city. Amongst most of the people that are gathered around and walking around, you start to notice some cloaked figures, some hooded figures, wearing kind of just gray cloaks, not like gray warden cloaks. You actually know what those look like, but no, just gray cloaks, hooded, and they appear to be very stereotypically doing shady stuff. Like you'll see some walk behind alleyways. You'll see, you're able to see it just barely, but you'll see a couple gray cloaked figures walk by each other, and you'll see one pass something off to another one. like with a handshake or a high five or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll see some shady figures kind of sitting down at tables outside of restaurants and or eateries and kind of looking around. And you see one that's like leaning in a corner with an apple, and he seems to be looking very, very intently at this one shopkeeper. And you just kind of see him here and there. You don't see many. You count maybe about 5, and that's about all you see. But you can see some patterns of their routine and whatnot.
So the guy eating the apple, does he look like he wants to do harm to the shopkeeper or something?
It's kind of hard to see because you can't really see his face, but his demeanor is he's standing very relaxed. He's slouched against the corner of the wall. He's got one hand on the apple and then one hand just kind of on his hip. It might be resting on a weapon. You're not sure, but he's got a very slouched demeanor.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to try and get close to the shopkeeper and try to buy some shit while stalling, just to see what would happen.
This particular shopkeeper is selling candied apples.
Ah. I would like to buy some of these candied apples.
Oh, well, these are the best quality and variety of candy apples you'll get, my good sir. 5 gold.
5
And that's
gold for
pretty
it.
pretty stiff for a candied apple. They do smell good, but still pretty stiff.
This better have Andraste's fucking milk drops in it or something if it's this expensive.
He's like, oh
Jeez.
my good sir, it's got Andraste's tit of milk. Or milk of tit, sorry. I said that backwards.
I will look. I will want a refund if it does not taste amazing.
Go ahead and roll me diplomacy to haggle.
Okay. 23.
Yeah, you're successfully able to bring it down to 2 gold pieces with some haggling,
Mm-hmm.
which is a much more reasonable price.
I buy it. Do I still see the hooded man eating the
Mhm.
apple as well?
Yep, he is just
After
eating the apple.
after I buy it, I go to him and wait. Is it the same thing I bought?
No.
I go to him. Say, have you ever had of this candied apple that man is selling over there? He seemed to be intently staring into his eyes.
Beat it, dwarf.
Eh, that's very rude, but I just wanted to know if the candied apple is good or not. But you seem to be a massive prick.
He just ignores you.
Mm-hmm. Can I try to pickpocket him and see what kind of shady shit he has on him?
Yeah, roll me a sleight of hand.
Slide. Oh shit, I don't think I have that. Nope, I do not. Can I just roll a flat dexterity or something, which will probably end up biting
Yes.
me?
Flat dexterity or dexterity mod would work, yeah.
Yeah, can I try to make a distraction for him, like, I don't know, tell him some bullshit lie about how...
Yeah, I'll if you're gonna do that, I'll go ahead and give you a +2 since he really is kind of focused on his task.
Yeah,
So
okay.
go ahead and roll 1d20 plus dex modifier +2.
This is gonna bite me in the ass again. Let's go. And it's 16.
Damn. Yeah, he notices you reaching into his pocket, and he very quickly reaches down and grabs your arm, and he says, "Mm-mm-mm." And he holds out part of his cloak, and he points at a rather nasty-looking dagger, and he just shakes his head at you, and he's like, "Mm-mm," and he lets go of your hand.
I'm sorry, I'm being pestered by my mother to talk in this shitty ass accent, so I can. She wants to record for some reason. Give me a moment.
Oh, that was out of character.
What? What? What's happening?
Hold on. Time out. Intermission.
Meanwhile, in other Ferelden news,
Meanwhile, in Ferelden news, Canary ships sighted 30 miles outside of Western Port. Invasion imminent. Armies moving to the coastlines to defend local Ferelden. This just in, the new doggy food, Mabari Chow, is still best in Ferelden.
yeah, you should have gone with voice acting. Sounds good. You should do Mabari Cha commercials. Something happened. Something happened. Someone is
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
yeah. Yep, that's Miss.
thing.
Doing a
Hello.
session.
Hello.
Doing a session at the moment.
We're doing a session.
All right, there we go.
Okay, I'm done talking like an idiot now. Time to continue talking like an idiot.
Okay, so
So now you're talking like a non-idiot.
But I am
so
still
he's
talking
so
like an
he grabbed your hand and he caught you, basically.
yes. Okay. Oh, what? It seems that my hand slipped. I was looking for. Okay, look,
Get
I'm curious. I'm curious.
get
Yes, yes,
lost.
yes, yes, yes. I'll just I'll start fucking off and I'll just find like a table or something, like still pretty close so I can still see him, and but not close enough so that he will notice me. I guess I'm just gonna watch him because I'm bored, basically.
Okay, you kind of leave him be and kind of looks back to the shopkeeper and just kind of goes about his business. Are you still watching him or are you just leaving completely?
Yeah, I'm just watching him. I want to see what he does because he seems to be he wants to do something like
Okay.
horrible. And,
Well,
yeah.
the shopkeeper eventually gets up and proceeds onwards to the high area of the kingdom. And the guy follows him. You follow him. Go ahead and roll me a stealth just for the hell of it.
Let's see. Uh,
What'd you get?
I got a 15.
Okay. So that's enough to kind of stroll around. You eventually follow the guy, and the guy actually heads up to the High District, and the Candied Apple guy goes into one of the main manors. And you follow behind, and you see the Gray Cloak guy go into the mansion. The two guards don't even seem to pay him notice as the guy in the Gray Cloak walks in.
I continue. I keep following.
You eventually get up to the main doorways, and two guards immediately bar their spears, and they say, "Not welcome. Get lost."
Uh, how very peculiar. Hmm. I get lost and I try to find another entrance to this manor.
Go ahead and roll me a. Here, I'll actually go ahead and roll it for you just to see what you find here.
Oh, Saika's on the chat thingy.
Yeah, I
Okay.
know. I need to get to her when I can.
Uh, what do I have to roll?
No, nothing. You're able to find an entryway off to the side, and you
Yeah,
proceed on into the manor.
Yeah, I keep going. Yeah.
You proceed into one of the what looks like clothing, like kind of washroom areas where like they're scrubbing on the pots and whatnot, and it doesn't seem to be like there's anyone in there but one person in particular. And you look up and you see the shadow of death right in front of you.
What?
Serena, you see a dwarf slide down one of the chutes. Actually, a very familiar dwarf slide down one of the chutes as you're cleaning up your as you're cleaning up just from the day's work.
What the hell?
The instant I see her, I pull out my alcohol flask again, and I look at it, and look at her, and I throw it on the ground, and I like try to ignore her, and I try to leave the room.
Well, I'm disguised and I have extra makeup on.
Yep, but he knows you.
Yeah,
He has witnessed the shadow of death kill. That's a face he'll never forget.
is his Inquisition pin visible?
No.
Yes. Well,
Wait,
no,
no?
it's not. Okay,
Really?
it's not. It's not.
Yeah, no.
It
Okay,
depends.
no.
Okay. So you don't
Yeah,
have
no.
invisible.
Nope. Because I've been
Brandon,
doing illegal shit.
yes.
Why would I want
Yes,
them to know?
Serena does. You do know that this guy's with the Inquisition. He was obviously you chatted with him on
Oh
the
yeah,
caravan.
yeah, it's in there.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else around this room?
No, it's just you two in the laundry room, so to speak.
What in the hell are you doing here?
Oh, I am clearly drunk again. Why am I seeing you everywhere? It's so weird. I throw away my flask. I then
You already did that.
yeah.
Have you even considered the possibility that I might be here because there's some reason for me to be here? Is there a reason for you being in here?
Well, it's mostly just boredom, to be honest. I was following this weird man wearing a cloak, and I thought, this tactic reminds me of the Antivan crows, but he's pretty shit at it if he is a
Wait,
crow.
what?
So I just thought I might stalk him for fun.
No, you have to take it from the start. Who were you following?
Look, I got arrested for apparently murdering a guy in the pier. So then, after went out of the prison, I stumbled upon this beautiful little shop, which apparently is the owner of that place owns this manor, or well, he just went in this manor, basically. I think. Look, it's very muddy, but long story short, I saw a very peculiar man in a cloak staring intently at this person that I was following, and well, now he led us here, and I think he's trying to kill him or do something horrible. Since I was bored, I thought I might as well watch him
Going to
do that.
who? The person with the store or the person who is here? Because there's a very big difference
There,
between
the
the two.
person from the store and the person who went here are the same person.
Yes, but he doesn't own the place. The Baron owns the place.
Uh, yes. Look, I just followed the man because
Okay,
I thought he looked interesting
okay,
and he wanted.
stop it, stop. We need to find out what's going on around here, and we need to get you out of here.
Why?
Uh,
This is
is
pretty
there,
fun.
is there a movable laundry basket in there in the room?
Let's see. Yes.
I didn't hear you. You said something because the cat
Yes.
muted
He
my
said
mic.
yes.
Okay, I'll tell the dwarves to get in the basket.
Are you serious right now?
I'm very. How do you suppose we explain to people how you got in here or what you're doing in here? Do you want me to
Well,
let you in?
you don't need to explain anything. I just need to open my mouth and try my beautiful words at them. And hopefully that will work. I'll just tell him I came from the front door and eh, Maybe that will work. You don't need to worry about
Nobody's
anything.
going to believe you. Have you seen yourself?
Yes, I look dashing, I know. It is
You're
very
drunk. You're underdressed.
look. If I wanted to, I could tell anyone that I am.
And
Wait,
you're
who's the
also
king?
Yeah, and you're
Who's
also a dwarf. Who's gonna
who's the
believe?
king of Orzammar again? In your universe?
I
Is
can't
it
remember. Forgive me. I'm horrible with names, but it's the guy with the red beard. It's the true. He's the true heir. He's
King
the guy.
Balin?
Balin.
King
Yes.
Balin. I could tell everyone I am King Balin's son for all I care, and they'd
Yeah.
believe me.
Except your beard's not red.
Yes,
Yeah.
with accent and this appearance, this is not going to happen. Either
You know, he
so
starts clearing his throat.
it's
I am
either
from Orzammar.
either getting in the laundry basket so I can sneak you out of here, or I can shove you back from where you came from.
Why do you even care? It's not like they'll find you, you crazy shadow of death person that I'm pretty sure are right now I am hallucinating, but why do you care, hallucination?
Because you're jeopardizing my mission.
Some of the wheels in your. Go ahead and roll me 1d20 plus your intelligence and/or wisdom modifier. Bullet.
Okay, let's see. What's intelligence? Okay, they're books one, so I got a 7. I am so smart. I am so smart.
Either way,
No.
the gears, the hamster wheel in your head has stopped like working,
Mhm.
and you're you're kind of looking at her like, okay, there's probably, she probably knows what she's doing, but the hamster wheel in your head has just stopped.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Well, I was trying to think for a second, and then I remembered I do not care enough, so my brain kind of just farted, so it's empty, and I'm just kind of staring at you. I have no clue what I'm doing, to be honest.
That's probably one thing you said that makes some sense. That your head is empty.
Well, that's incredibly rude. Look, if I go in this filthy Ferelden basket, will you shut up and just, I don't know, put me somewhere?
I'm going to will you out of here,
Uh,
and maybe I'll be able to continue with my mission.
right, your mission. Wait, who are you again?
I'm a member of the Inquisition, just like yourself.
Now the hamster has started turning the wheel again.
Ah. Okay. So you're telling me if I fuck it up, I will be fucking the Inquisition over. Therefore, someone might try to kill me for fucking the Inquisition over. Okay. I'll get in your stupid
Please,
Ferelden basket.
not try to kill you, is I will kill you.
Neat. So two people
Ouch.
from the Inquisition will stab me to death if I fail. Okay, gotcha. Let me go in this filthy dog-ridden Ferelden basket and shut my mouth. He goes in and like puts his hand out. Could you hand me my flask again? I seem to have dropped it.
I'll
I
take the
don't.
flask and I'll put it in a pocket in my dress for now.
Did you?
You'll get it when we're out of here.
Fine.
I'll
Jeez.
try to pull you down
So
to the river. Well, I'll put a bunch of dirty laundry on top of him so I can have an excuse to go down to the river and do laundry.
yep.
He's,
All right. So
he
yeah,
whispers to.
that's a pretty smart idea.
Yeah.
Ow.
You'll go up, and as you're pushing the wooden basket, rather cleverly designed contraption, considering as how it still is technically medieval times, and they hadn't made stuff like this. It appears to be made out of wood, and the wheel spokes do appear to be fairly well working, almost like a mini wagon, so to speak, but made to hold clothes with a piece of cloth tied around each bar of wood. And as you're pushing it out, and as you exit the lingerie, and as you're heading out the back way to go down to the river to clean, you both hear a loud scream, like a woman screaming, coming from the inner sanctum of the mansion. And that's where we'll stop our session for right now.
God damn it!
uh,
Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And we'll see you guys next time on Dragon Age Rise of the Kunari.